we are all going to watch this together.
I forgot.
I remember a good instance back in grade 9 it was. A friend of mine, me and him were really close, and then I moved away from Edmonton and came here, and then one summer he came to visit, and then the day that he came to leave, like, it was sort of like brothers. When he came to leave, I just sort of couldn't hold it back. I just started just crying and saying, he's saying, "What are you doing, man?" I said, "Oh, there's dust in my eye, man." Like, you know, excuses. I got something in my eye. That's the whole trip. But I mean, you and him know what was happening, but like there was another person in the room. You didn't want them to know.
Big boys don't cry. Because, you know, it's kind of what people think, but when you start getting older, they can start to understand it. But when in younger grades, you don't really understand.
I don't know who I model myself after, if there's anybody like that, or if there's a certain great guy, whether he's a big sports hero or a great movie actor or something. I don't think you pick up little pieces out of all these people that, you know, like a line out of a Clint Eastwood movie or something like that. But I don't think there's a person that I set my ways after.
But when you learn how to be a man?
I think it comes from older brothers. Great example. Or if you don't have any older brothers, well... I don't think it's just a one set thing. Well, you're taught to be a man by your older brother. But by your father, by your friends. But you just soak it up from all over. Because your brothers are acting the same as your father's acting the same as your brother, they're acting the same as these guys on TV, which are acting the same as your friends. And it comes from a combination of all these places.
Well, what about the pressures to be manly or male in those years? Tell me about that.
Strangely enough, that kind of came through sports. Like through the basketball team. It was a big thing in that school. Basketball's a big thing. And to get on the junior team, then on to the senior team is a big thing too. You know, to do well in the weights program. You know, to lift a lot. And to have a lot of stamina. That was pretty well it. And staying out late at night was the big thing too. You know, coming home drunk and not caring. Not caring what your parents think and telling people your parents don't care. When you know they do. And when you know their parents probably care too. But they'll tell you that the parents don't. And smoking pot, getting stoned for school. And it was just, that was a big game. And to make it look like you're having a really good time.
So that you wouldn't be rejected?
Yeah. Thought of as different. So people would call you, ask you what you're doing. You wouldn't have to stay at home. You know, they let you know what they're doing. And, you know, because you're a good guy to have fun with.
A bunch of us were going to go up to a party. Like probably people up there that are different from us, and they all, you know, their dads bought cars and all those things, you know, those type of guys. And I knew that the only reason we were going up there was just, you know, getting fights and just, you know, bug the broads and, you know, cut them all down. That was the whole intention of the thing. I didn't want to go along because I knew what was going to happen, but I don't know what could you say, you know. Try walking away and you got 25 guys yelling at you and starting throwing beer bottles and stuff at you and calling you a jam tart. So I went along.
In grade 7 and 8, we'd go up into the woods and we'd work on this fort that we had. And it was beautiful. It had 3 floors and carpeting and windows and a bookshelf and everything you could imagine, a locked door on it. And we'd finished it off, and this is the first time I think I'd ever drank. And everyone was going, hey, it's the end of school, long weekend, grade 8, end of grade 8, I think. And we was going, well, let's go up there and spend the night. And we can get a little alcohol because Justin's dad mixed wine in that, and he could always take a bottle or something. And so everyone was going, well, I think we should go up there and drink. Yeah, we'll go up there and drink. And, you know, you're sort of drawn in because they're your friends and everything. And you don't really want to say no because, no, what are you talking about? No, you can't say no. I mean, gee whiz, we're going to go up there and drink and have fun. And, you know, it's totally uncomfortable. Like I didn't want to drink that badly, but you'd go along and sort of get the glass and, you know, take a sip and everything, and oh geez, it tastes bad or something, and, you know, give it to someone else and sit around and eat pretzels all night. But it's interesting because, like, you can't, there's no way that you can get out of it, sort of. I mean, you can say no, but in the end you're going to end up going up there, because if you say no and you don't go up there, then you lose all your friends and become a loner.
I used to square dance when I was in grade 8, and I got a buddy to come with me too. And like it was boring, I guess. You know, like every once in a while it'd be fun, but if I was learning something that was all right. But like we'd never told anybody at school. Like no one knew except for our really close friends, right? Like the ones who wouldn't bug us about it anyways. But if a lot of people found out, I'm sure I would have just shrank up and died. So like we just made sure no one found out. You thought you were the only one. That's all. Like I told you before about going out and enjoyed, you know, taking a friend's parents' car out, going out for a joyride. And they came about me. I didn't want to go. I thought, man, I must be some chicken, but there's no way I was going to tell them that I wasn't going to go. So I got in, and of course you put the false laughter on. Hey, this is great, you know, sticking your head out the window, you know. But the whole time I was scared to death inside. And I naturally thought all the rest of these guys would seem to be yelling and laughing, but I thought they're laughing, they're being wild, was sincere, and that I was the only one that was putting it on. It's true. The fact the odd one is a wild guy, okay, but you know, most people aren't. Most people were putting it all on just like me.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit about this thing about your size, because there's that classic small man complex, isn't there?
It's very true. I mean, you know, especially when you look trying to pick up girls or something, they're all a foot taller than you. I mean, it's a drag. But
yeah, I never really thought about that.
No, it really is. It's really like, I mean, you hear them for days and years. Every day there's another 10 jokes about he's short, he hate this, hate that. And inside it really bothers you, know. You know, you're walking along the hall and you're thinking, gee, I'm short. You know, what a drag. And it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And so I tried to overcome those by playing rugby, by playing even basketball, which is supposed to be such a tall man's game. And I was good. And I made sure I was good. I practiced and I was good, and I was the captain of the team, so yeah.
You guys had the worst team, though.
I know, they're terrible team, okay. He's rough, but
I'm sure that I remember we beat you 53-16 one day. It's okay, keep going.
but you know, and so you overcome it. You have to, because you don't want to sit there and get bugged all the time.
I think everyone is afraid to be themselves, because if they're themselves, then you're too open with everyone. You can't be too open with everyone. Everyone likes to stay within themselves and have something that they can always relate back to while they're around other people. Like, it's hard to explain. If you're around one girl, there's just you and one girl, then it's not as hard to. But if you're around a group of guys and a group of girls, that's when problems arise, because, like at dances, grade 8, 9, and 10 dances, the wallflowers, the guys in one section of the bleachers, the girls in the other section of the bleachers, and you sit there and there's no way you're going to walk over there in front of 30 girls that are sitting up in the bleachers and ask one girl to dance. Well, I mean, you do it, but you feel so uncomfortable that it's quite hair-raising. Quite hair-raising.
At a dance, I go there and you see everyone dancing, you know, guys with girls and all that. And so you want to dance with a girl, so you don't look different. No one thinks, you know, he's a great guy, he's got a girlfriend. So I usually wait for everyone to get in there and start dancing, then I'll go up and ask a girl in some corner or something to go for a dance. I want to ask in front of a group of people, because you don't want to be put down or anything. You think it's really bad to be put down in front of people that way?
That's all I have to say about the most embarrassing thing that can happen to you in all of your school life, is to walk up in front of 30 girls in the bleachers and get the one that you want and go up there and ask her and she says no. And then there's not much you can do except stand there and go, oh, okay, sorry, or, you try to apologize for going up and asking her something and walk away and feel like the biggest heel on the entire earth and feel all 60 eyes watching you walk away, sort of. It's really, really embarrassing, I'd say. One of the most embarrassing things that can happen.
See, it's such a vicious circle that all these people, you automatically feel that you're unique and therefore everybody else would be against you. But again, this person over here is feeling the exact same thing, that he's unique and everybody is against him, and I am one of those everybody. And so it's like everybody against everybody, they're all under this impression, and yet every one of them inside is thinking the same thing. They're all worried about being weird and strange and unique and different. Yet none of them, they don't realize it back then. They don't realize that we're all the same, really, We're not the same, but we've all got the same problems, the same hang-ups. And if they all got together and perhaps discussed it, it would be a hell of a lot better for them. But they didn't. The point is they never realized back then. I don't think. I didn't.
Well, you were really afraid. But that was a heavy thing. Like, to out and tell the truth, you're really, really putting yourself in the line. And you have no guarantee that anyone else is going to go, yeah, I understand. It's too big a risk.
Well, back then I was, was just with my crowd. And I was sitting, there was only one way to act: rowdy, get drunk, fight and all that. Now, I can go talk, like there were 3 crowds. I can, my crowd, I can talk to them. I can talk to the jocks, if you want to call them jocks, and talk to goofs, that's what we call them, I guess, and go talk to them, and it's fine, I can talk to girls now, on a level conversation instead of, sex, and all that stuff, I can talk to them like they're people now.
Oh, right now, it's very easy to say there are a lot more ways of behaving, acceptable ways. Then there were very few because people were afraid to accept people with individual ideas because they're fearing for their own acceptance. So if they went out and say, hey, this guy's all right, like, so what if he paints a lot? Like, he's all right. The guys would go, okay, fine, you can hang around with him then, right? We don't need you, really. We can get my brother to do the runs at the liquor store.
I mean, what constitutes a man? What is there, If it really comes down to it, there should be no image at all. Right? Nothing. You should be what you are.
Well,
whether
an
you're a
individual, of course, because
sniffling little weakling person or a guy who's 10 feet tall and built like a brick shithouse, what does it really matter? It doesn't. But things aren't like that.
Carson Graham! Oh my God, that was North Vancouver! What? Wow. Amazing.